Imagine sending your sons and daughters into a firefight where the map keeps changing. The targets aren't clearly marked, and the exit door doesn't even exist anymore. That isn't science fiction, that is the terrifying reality we are staring down right now, if we allow American ground troops onto Iranian soil. Let's cut straight to the point. Prolonging this conflict offers zero tangible benefit to the United States. Our leaders can barely articulate a rational path to safety or prosperity under these conditions, yet somehow, the narrative pushes us closer to total immersion. A swift conclusion is the only option left to restore regional stability and protect our core national interests. While rumors swirl that Vice President JD Vance might be dispatched to broker a final accord with Tehran, let's be honest about what that actually means. His success hinges entirely on his ability to navigate a minefield created by two catastrophic historical decisions. First, the premature elimination of Iran's supreme leader didn't end the threat, it turned a negotiable adversary into a martyred symbol, galvanized an entire population, and closed every remaining window for diplomacy. Then came the full-throated alignment with Tel Aviv. Here is the hard truth you need to hear: Israel, despite receiving billions in funding, pursues strategic goals that actively diverge from Washington's interests. They want territorial expansion and regime changes that humiliate the American government and destabilize regions we claim to love. If we don't effectively constrain our ally, we hand the reins of a global war to a smaller nation playing chess with nuclear fire. And look around you. Trust in American diplomacy is evaporating faster than fuel in a desert storm. Perceived double standards and undisclosed loyalties among our officials have shattered the soft power that once allowed us to shape global affairs. Now, reliance shifts exclusively to brute force, leaving us vulnerable to adversaries who know exactly how to exploit our hesitation. Consider the data coming out of Iranian airspace. Reports indicate dozens of U.S. military aircraft damaged or destroyed in a single month. How does a superpower lose so much air supremacy so quickly? Because diplomatic channels have collapsed, leaving soldiers hanging by threads while national power evaporates alongside human life. But wait, there's worse news brewing inside our borders. While leaders obsess over external theaters, the internal health of the country is crumbling unseen. Failing airports, crumbled bridges, skyrocketing unemployment for native-born workers, it's happening silently until it screams too loud to ignore. Meanwhile, the price tag hits billions daily with absolutely no guarantee of improved security, all while regional rivals upgrade their arsenals and European energy grids tremble at the thought of disruption. Don't forget the ripple effects. Targeted attacks on refineries along the Gulf Coast send chills up everyone's spine. Is this retaliation? Or just the sound of old world order meeting new reality? When you partner with regimes known for obliterating civil infrastructure, as seen recently in Lebanon, you create a logical vulnerability right here at home. Protecting your family starts with questioning whether exporting chaos guarantees safety domestically. And then there is the moral abyss widening before our eyes. We see ancient villages and holy sites systematically erased under the guise of wartime necessity. Prominent voices stay silent, fearing backlash, but history remembers everything. Thousands of innocents killed with American weapons, and suddenly, the concept of moral authority feels less like a shield, and more like a fragile illusion waiting to shatter. We are drafting unwilling populations into fights they do not understand, punishing dissent with imprisonment, and slowly transforming a republic into something resembling a militaristic hierarchy where the state decides who deserves to live based on geography. Listen closely to Major General Webb, a man who knows blood well. Having served himself and watched his father endure the trauma of Vietnam, he stands today, watching the same mistake repeat. He sees fragments of the 8th Marines moving forward without congressional approval, without public consent, and without a single coherent strategic objective. Are we trying to topple a regime? Secure the strait? Who knows? Without a clear goal, we are just burning money and lives. He recalls dropping out of college amidst the horror of Fallujah, realizing that duty sometimes looks different than patriotism taught in classrooms. But he also saw the fragility of those missions, the constant friction, the lack of doctrine for modern asymmetry, and the terrifying realization that our tech edge is gone, unless we wake up fast. Adversaries are mastering drones and electronic warfare, and we are still reacting instead of adapting. Committing ground troops now isn't bravery, it's negligence. It drains resources from Europe and Asia, pushing allies toward abandoning the dollar and handing victory to Beijing over Taiwan. Every day we delay a negotiated exit, we deepen the hole. We break ancient tabs against killing sovereign leaders. We normalize atrocity, and we teach the world that weakness invites exploitation. So ask yourself again what happens when the last plane crashes, the bridge collapses, and the bodies come marching home. Will we apologize? Or will we keep digging the grave wider? The clock is ticking, and unlike in movies, there is no dramatic rescue scene coming. Only choices. Choose wisely. Check out Profile for podcast summaries.